So this right here is the exact setup that I brought with me on my trip to Japan a couple years ago. I visited Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, iconic places, cities, had a lot of fun. And at that time, I don't know why, but I decided to bring on the DJI Pocket 2 as my only camera in a what some of you would think it's a once in a lifetime travel Japan. I did have full frame camera, my Sony A7 III at the time, but for some reason I was like, I am gonna bring the DJI Pocket 2. Maybe because I want to get some of those really nice, smooth, street walking kind of POV style. So many years later, I'd be like, ooh, look at me. This is my first person view walking in Japan. Anyway, I want to share with you my experience with using the DJI Pocket 2 after owning it for more than 2 years now at this point. What are my thoughts on it? What I recommend, right? Especially the Pocket 3 is also out for a little over a year now, even though the price, I've heard it's been crazy. So let's start off by talking about the video quality and performance. So the video quality from the DJI Pocket 2, it's pretty solid. It's not like amazing or anything, but it definitely gets a job done. It's not going to be better than your smartphone. If you have a modern day smartphone like iPhone 12 or up, or Samsung, I don't know. It's like S25 now at this point. So you're going to be getting very similar results as your smartphone, in 4K. With the additional benefit of having a mechanical gimbal. And that's superior than any of your smartphone. That's because, think about it, your smartphone, like iPhone, yes, it does a really good job at stabilizing video, but you're always going to be getting the very bad looking digital stabilization. I personally just don't really like it. It makes the footage looks funny and blurry. Whereas if you shoot it with the Pocket 2, since it's got a mechanical gimbal, it doesn't really do any of the digital stuff. Your footage will look very smooth and cinematic. I mean, as you were checking out these footages I took back in Japan, you can see how smooth they are. Most of them are shot in decent like color profile, even though I heard that it's not a true log format. But I like the color. It looks very natural. It looks very pleasant to my eyes, It looks really good. And you can see the DJI Pocket 2 outperforms any of the smartphone on the market nowadays, especially in low lights. At night, oh my god, it looks so beautiful. It just looks so organic without the digital stabilization. And even though this camera has been out for over 2.5 years now at this point, 2 or 3, I forgot exactly what day it was released, the footage is still gonna beat any of the smartphone nowadays. And I like the fact that you can turn the camera pointing both forward and backward, so you can vlog to what you're looking at, or you can vlog with your face in it, and you can see yourself, the composition in the tiny screen. The screen is there to just, I think it does a good job, a decent job at helping you with composition and stuff, but trying to control and change settings on it, it's a nightmare. Like, it's smaller than your thumb. So what I did was I basically had everything on auto mode, even though at the beginning I tried to shoot it in a they call it the pro mode, where I can automatically adjust the exposure and stuff like that, because I will use an ND filter with it. But I think by the third and fourth day on my trip to Japan, I was in Tokyo, And I was like, you know what, forget about it. I spent way too much time. It's just so inconvenient to try to get this tiny little ND filter snapped onto the Pocket 2, and then somehow my fingerprint will always smudge the lens, and it was just a nightmare. And I have to adjust the shutter speed, the ISO. So if you're gonna use a pocket camera, 2 or 3, you're most likely just gonna shoot it in auto mode. And honestly, looking at back at some of the footage, the auto is fine, right? The shutter is gonna be higher, maybe 1/500, 1 over like 800 or something, on a bright sunny day. But honestly, the footage doesn't look that bad. It's not like too jittery or something. What's important is what you able to capture inside of a frame, right? The memory, not how cinematic or how motion blur you can get. So we talked about the video quality is great. It's just gonna be same as any of the smartphone, more or less, but the stabilization is superior. Now let's talk about the portability and the design of the Pocket 2. This is what really troubles me in my head. Like, I want to think of this camera as a very portable camera, right? It's so tiny. It's called Pocket 2, right? It's meant to fit in your pockets, and it does. Well, technically, I did not fit it in my pockets. When I was in Japan, I would carry a sling bag with me at all time by Peak Design. I would keep the camera inside of the case, and then everything inside the sling bag. So, in theory, it's a very compact, very portable setup. But in reality, it's not always that convenient. And the reason why I said is because whenever I encounter something cool, right, I will have to open my sling bag. I have to take out the camera with the case with it, and then I have to remove the case from the camera, and it's almost like an extra steps you have to do, and that gets annoying over time. Not gonna lie, by the 5th or 6th day, it's just an extra step, and then you have to turn on the camera, right? But thankfully, turning on the camera is very quick. You can just hold the button for like 2 seconds, and then it will power on. Yeah. But one problem I found while I was using the Pocket 2 in Japan is that there are many scenarios in which I would like to get both the photo and video, right? AKA like a hybrid camera. The problem is, while the Pocket 2 is great at capturing smooth video, photo mode, it's a little bit more troublesome to use. And I think it has to do with the sensor readout speed or whatever, but it takes anywhere from 3 to 5 seconds to get a photos. I don't know why. Maybe mine's defect, but as soon as I press the shutter button, the camera would wait like 2 or 3 seconds, and then it would snap the photo, even though I have it on a very high shutter speed in a bright daylight. A lot of time I would miss out the shots, and it just kind of frustrated me because I expected to be more responsive, so I don't miss out the moments. But unfortunately, it takes a couple seconds to snap a photo. But the good news is, though, when I look back these photos on the computer, they are pretty big, pretty detailed and sharp, and looks natural. There's lots of I think you call it the chroma abbreviation or whatever. You got a little bit purple fringing too, but overall it looks very natural. It's a very solid camera for photography if you have the patience and everything. But the problem is when you're trying to shoot both the photo and video, constantly switching between 2 modes, it gets frustrating with the wait time. So what I ended up doing a lot of time is I would just take out the Pocket 2 to shoot some B-roll, right? Usually from 5 to 10 seconds, and then I would put it away and use my iPhone 13 mini at the time to get some images, which is great using iPhone because those photos get uploaded to iCloud so I don't lose them. It could really add extra steps to your workflow, from taking it out from your sling bag to having to switch your iPhone to get photo. So while it's very portable, but the workflow is not always as simple if you are someone who does hybrid shooting, both photo and video, if this makes sense. But if you have a partner who travel with you and you guys dedicate, one person to shoot photo only and the other person use the Pocket 2 to shoot B-roll, then I can imagine that to be a more enjoyable process. And by the end, you get both the nice, smooth, cinematic vlog style video, and you also get great photos. And another downside with the small screen is that it's just so hard to know what you're shooting when it comes to photography. So you're just gonna have to press the button, hope, and pray that you get a good shot. But I found that if you use the panoramic shooting mode, where the camera will capture 9 pictures and stitches all of them together into this like 100 megapixel picture. I got this shot in Shibuya Crossing. It's a panoramic photo, and then it's able to capture everything, all the people on the streets. It's nighttime, and all the buses, all the taxi cars, sky, and the architecture, the skyscrapers, everything. Like it's such a fun photo to look at, and because of the mechanical gimbal, the pictures looks very sharp, even though it's not a well lit photo, right? So I enjoy using that mode more than I expected. Now let's talk about one of the big issue that I ran into with Pocket 2 is the battery life. I was able to get anywhere from like an hour to 2 hours every single day when I was in Japan on while using this camera. And anything after that, the camera just kind of overheats and die. So in reality, the first a week or so in Japan, I was able to shoot with the camera every single day, and it still got juice before the end of the day when I went back to hotel. But as the shooting becomes more intense, I found that it usually died around 1 or 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And after that, it just very awkward. Like I don't have the Pocket 2 to shoot anymore, so I have to swap out for some iPhone footage. So now when I look back to my Japan photos and videos, like they're all over the place. Some are, on the iPhone, some are on the Pocket 2. It's usually the first half on the Pocket 2 and second half on the iPhone because I just kind of gave up on a trip, gave up using Pocket 2 because it just dies so quickly. Battery is something that you have to really watch out for because it doesn't have a swappable battery and it doesn't have the largest battery either. I wish DJI would design the Pocket 2 or 3 with a swappable battery, but it is what it is. The 3 also uses a built-in internal, so that's something that you have to deal with. Definitely bring a power bank or something so you can charge it while you're not using the Pocket. It's just something that you have to be aware of. Next, let's talk about audio. The audio is great. I mean, I'm not a professional or anything. I know lots of pro vlogger, they would always use a wireless mic, and you can definitely do that. There's a separate attachment that you, I think it's like a Bluetooth receiver you attach to the handle of the Pocket 2, and that connects and communicate with a DJI wireless mic. I don't have that combo, but I found the built-in microphone to be perfectly capable when I was shooting. I don't really talk in my vlog, so I was just trying to capture some ambient sound, and the built-in mic, it's able to do that perfectly. And I just carry less stuff with me, right? Just keep it simple in the setup. I also want to touch up on the software and connectivity, right? It has an app, DJI Memo, where you can use a little piece of attachment and connect the Pocket 2 with your iPhone or Android. And you open the app, you get a bigger screen, bigger preview, and auto control and stuff like that. I found that to be only useful when you really have the time to sit down and play around with the setting. But when you're out traveling in a completely new city where you're just trying to absorb everything, I think you're very unlikely to use that feature. And one annoying thing is that I kept the little dongle thingy inside of the case, and that thing fell off onto the ground more than I wanted to. There's this one time the dongle fell off when I was taking out the camera, and then I didn't even notice it until someone behind me came up to me and tapped my shoulder and be like, "Hey, you dropped something," and then I realized, I dropped it. So I don't recommend keeping it in the case. Maybe putting in a place that's more secure, or just don't bring it with you at all. After all the issues I mentioned earlier, I still think this is a very capable camera, even though it's been out so long already and there's like a newer version of it. And the reason is because I think if you're gonna get a very niche camera like this one, you're likely not solely relying on a good image quality. I don't think either the Pocket 2 or Pocket 3 is going to beat the professional DSLR, full frame, or APS-C. Like, there's just this big gap in terms of image quality. But where the Pocket really shine is the fact that it's got a external gimbal. You're able to capture run and gun style vlogging, very smooth cinematic looking footage without having to, break your back or sweat too much because it's so small. It's just so convenient, right? You can fit it in your pocket. I don't know about the 3, but the 2 is definitely smaller. But you have all that cinematic gimbal stuff all fit in your pockets, and you can control it with one hand. That's just amazing. Really, you need to figure out what you're after. Are you trying to get really good looking pictures or photos or videos? Or you're just trying to do vlogs and casual video where the image quality doesn't matter as much as you want it to look natural and organic. So this is just my user experience and my take on the DJI Pocket 2. Again, I still think this is a very worth it camera, especially with the Pocket 3 being so expensive. I think last time I checked was $799. That's kind of absurd for a small camera like this. That's not like much better than your iPhone or Android in terms of image quality. But I think the gimbal definitely gives it a unbeatable edge, and I don't see any other camera on the market right now does it better than DJI Pocket. So let me know what you think of this camera down in the comment below. I know I just kind of ramble on and on, but I just want to share my thought with you guys. Hopefully this helps. If so, like and subscribe, and would like to see you in the next one. Peace.